The misjudgment. Captain Maya Harrison stood motionless on the bridge of the TSV Phantom, her eyes fixed on the main display showing the massive Krell warship barely 500 meters from their position. One wrong move, one system fluctuation, and the experimental stealth vessel would be detected. Even breathing felt dangerous in this moment. Power fluctuation in the quantum diffusion array, Lieutenant Chen whispered, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. Compensating. Maya nodded almost imperceptibly. 5 years of her life had gone into this ship, into this technology that the highest levels of Earth government had denied even existed. The Phantom represented humanity's greatest technological achievement. True invisibility in space, not merely sensor jamming or heat dispersion, but actual light and gravity-bending technology that rendered the ship completely undetectable. "Hold position," she ordered softly. "Let them pass." On the screen, the enormous Krell battlecruiser Inevitable Dominance drifted by, its jagged, crystalline hull gleaming in the light of the nearby star. Commander Vexon, the Krell fleet leader, was infamous throughout this sector of the galaxy for his contempt of lesser species, particularly humans. The Krell had encountered humanity only 30 years ago, and from the beginning, they had dismissed Earth and its colonies as primitive, barely worth acknowledging. Humans lacked the refined crystalline technology of the Krell, whose civilization had conquered faster than light travel millennia before humans had even mastered fire. The Krell saw themselves as inherently superior, biologically, technologically, and culturally. What they didn't understand was humanity's greatest strength, adaptability. "They're scanning the region again," reported Ensign Rodriguez from the sensor station. "Standard sweep pattern. They have no idea we're here." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "Record everything. Every communication, every energy signature, every ship movement." For 3 weeks, the Phantom had shadowed the Krell fleet, gathering intelligence as they moved through human colonial space. The Krell claimed these were diplomatic missions, but Maya's crew had recorded numerous weapons tests and tactical exercises that suggested otherwise. The Krell Empire had been expanding for centuries, absorbing resource-rich systems and subjugating or displacing their inhabitants. Now they had turned their attention to the outer human colonies, particularly New Eden, a prosperous agricultural world with extensive rare mineral deposits. "Captain," Communications Officer Park interrupted her thoughts. "We're intercepting a high-priority transmission from the Dominance to the Krell homeworld." "Let's hear it." The harsh, clicking language of the Krell filled the bridge, automatically translated by the ship's AI. "Supreme Overseer, preparations are complete. The human colony lacks significant defenses. Their planetary shield technology is primitive, and our scans detect no military vessels in the system. We estimate complete subjugation within 30 standard cycles. The humans have no awareness of our true intentions." Commander Vexon's voice was unmistakable, arrogant, cold, and utterly convinced of his superiority. "Begin the operation immediately," came the reply. "The humans have repeatedly refused our generous offers of protection in exchange for resource rights. Make an example of New Eden. Show these primitives what defiance of the Krell Empire means." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in silence. "They're planning to attack New Eden," Maya said, stating the obvious. "How soon can we transmit this intelligence back to Earth Command?" "Not without breaking stealth, Captain," Chen replied. "We have to disengage the quantum diffusion field to send a message." Maya's mind raced. The Phantom had been sent on a reconnaissance mission only. Their orders were explicit. Observe and report, but do not engage or reveal themselves under any circumstances. Earth was not ready for open conflict with the Krell Empire. But New Eden had 15 million colonists who had no idea what was coming. "How long until they reach New Eden?" she asked. Lieutenant Wilson at Navigation consulted his display. "At their current course and speed, 26 hours, Captain. And if we push our engines to maximum, we could beat them there by about 2 hours. But Captain, that would mean..." I know what it means, Lieutenant. Maya cut him off, already weighing the impossible choices before her. The Phantom was just one ship. Advanced, yes, but designed for stealth, not combat. It carried minimal weaponry. However, it wasn't entirely alone. Get me a secure channel to the Spectre and the Wraith, Maya ordered, referring to the other two stealth vessels deployed in this sector. Like the Phantom, they were operating under absolute secrecy, their very existence classified at the highest levels. Captain, our orders, Chen began. I know our orders, Lieutenant. I also know what's about to happen to 15 million civilians if we do nothing. Maya's voice was steel. Establish the link. As her officers worked to create a secure communication channel using short-burst quantum entanglement, the only way to communicate without detection. Maya stared at the Krell battlecruiser on the screen. She had studied the Krell extensively. Their society was built on absolute certainty of their superiority. They did not merely believe they were better than other species. They knew it as an unquestionable truth. That certainty was about to be challenged. Within minutes, encrypted connections were established with Captain Liana Rise of the Spectre and Captain Takashi Yamamoto of the Wraith. Both vessels have been deployed on similar reconnaissance missions in different sectors. We've confirmed the Krell are planning an imminent attack on New Eden. Maya informed them without preamble. 15 million civilians, minimal planetary defenses. Earth Command would never authorize intervention. Captain Rise replied immediately. We'd be revealing technology that's been in development for 15 years. I'm aware, Maya said. I'm also aware that if we do nothing, millions die. A moment of silence followed. What are you proposing, Harrison? Captain Yamamoto asked finally. We beat them to New Eden. We warn the colony. And then we give the Krell their first lesson about humanity. With 3 ships. Rise sounded skeptical. Against a Krell battle fleet. 3 ships they can't see coming, Maya corrected. 3 ships with technology they don't believe exists. Remember your history. Sometimes the greatest advantage isn't firepower, but surprise. Another pause, longer this time. My grandparents helped establish New Eden, Yamamoto said finally. I'm in. This will end our careers if we survive, Rise pointed out. But I didn't join the fleet to follow orders while civilians die. Count me in. Maya nodded, though they couldn't see her. Set course for New Eden. Maximum speed. We have 24 hours to prepare a welcome the Krell will never forget. As the communication ended, Maya turned to her bridge crew. You've all heard. This goes against our orders. I won't order any of you to participate. If you object, speak now. The bridge remained silent until Chen spoke up. My sister and her family live on New Eden, Captain. I think I speak for all of us when I say we're with you. Maya looked around at her crew. The best and brightest Earth had to offer, hand-selected for this classified mission. In their eyes, she saw not blind obedience, but determination. The same human quality that had taken them from cave dwellings to the stars in a cosmic blink of an eye. Set course for New Eden, she ordered, and prepare for combat. As the Phantom changed direction, Maya thought of Earth's history, filled with examples of outmatched forces defeating superior enemies through innovation, determination, and the element of surprise. The Krell believed they understood humanity. They had studied human technology, human weapons, human tactics. What they hadn't studied was human ingenuity when backed into a corner. Captain, Rodriguez called from his station. The Krell fleet is changing formation. They're preparing to jump to FTL. Let them go, Maya replied. We'll be waiting when they arrive. In the darkness of space, invisible to even the most advanced Krell sensors, the Phantom accelerated toward New Eden, where humanity would soon reveal that the galaxy's assumptions about them were dangerously wrong. The revelation. New Eden shimmered like a blue-green jewel against the blackness of space. From the Phantom's bridge, Maya could see why the colony had been given its name. Lush continents covered with forests and farmland, azure oceans, and small, gleaming cities that represented the best of human expansion into the stars. Evacuation is proceeding, but slowly, Lieutenant Chen reported. Colonial authorities initially refused to believe our warning. Even with Governor Rodriguez's backing, they've only managed to get about 20% of the population to emergency shelters. Maya nodded grimly. She had expected resistance. After all, a stealth ship that wasn't supposed to exist had suddenly appeared in orbit, warning of an imminent Krell attack, when all official communications from Earth insisted the Krell were peaceful trading partners. The Spectre and Wraith have reached their positions, Communications Officer Park announced. Both ships are powered down to minimal systems, maintaining stealth protocols. Krell fleet detected at the system's edge. Rodriguez called out suddenly. 7 ships, including the Dominance. They'll reach optimal attack range in 20 minutes. Maya studied the tactical display. The Krell formation was aggressive but conventional. Exactly what their intelligence had predicted. The arrogance of certainty. They expected no resistance, so they took no special precautions. Begin Phase 1, she ordered. Throughout New Eden's orbit, hundreds of small, stealth drones, deployed by the 3 human vessels over the past hours, activated. Each was barely larger than a human fist, but together they formed a network more sophisticated than anything the Krell had encountered. Drone network online, Chen confirmed. Beginning targeted data interception. On the main screen, the Krell fleet approached confidently. Maya could almost imagine Commander Vexon on his bridge, contemplating how easily this human world would fall. They're broadcasting their demands to the colony, Park reported. Standard Krell protocol. Immediate surrender, resource appropriation, population containment for protective supervision. Let me hear their communication, Maya ordered. The harsh voice of Commander Vexon filled the bridge. Your primitive defenses cannot protect you. The Krell Empire claims this world by right of superior capability. Resistance will result in unnecessary loss of life. You have 15 minutes to deactivate your planetary shields and prepare for our arrival. Maya smiled thinly. Send our response on the same channel. Park looked up nervously. This will reveal our position, Captain. That's the idea, Lieutenant. Send it. A moment later, Maya's voice echoed across every Krell communication system. This is Captain Maya Harrison of the Earth Defense Force. New Eden is under our protection. Your intelligence about our capabilities is outdated. Withdraw immediately. The response was almost immediate. Laughter. Actual Krell laughter. A sound like grinding stones that few humans had ever heard. A single vessel. Vexon's voice was thick with amusement. Your attempt at deception is as primitive as your technology. Our sensors detect only one small ship. The Earth Defense Force must be desperate indeed to send a lone vessel against our fleet. Show them desperate, Maya ordered quietly. Across the system, carefully orchestrated chaos erupted. The stealth drones simultaneously transmitted phantom sensor readings to the Krell fleet, creating the illusion of multiple defense platforms where none existed. At the same time, targeted electromagnetic pulses temporarily disrupted the Krell's secondary systems. They're confused, Rodriguez reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Their formation is breaking up as they try to identify the sources of the disruption. Phase 2, Maya ordered. In perfect synchronization, the Spectre and Wraith disengaged their stealth systems directly behind the Krell fleet's rear guard ships. Before the Krell could react, precisely targeted weapons fire disabled the propulsion systems of 2 smaller vessels. Krell fleet is responding, Lieutenant Wilson reported. They're turning to engage the Spectre and Wraith. This was the critical moment. The Krell would now commit their main forces to deal with the perceived primary threat, leaving the Dominance and 1 escort to continue toward New Eden. Phase 3, Maya commanded. Bring all weapons online. Disengage stealth systems on my mark. The bridge crew tensed. This was the moment they had trained for. The culmination of years of secret development and preparation. 3, 2, 1. Mark. The Phantom seemed to materialize from empty space directly in the path of the Dominance, less than 5 kilometers from the massive Krell flagship. The effect was precisely what Maya had hoped for. Complete shock. Target their primary weapons arrays only, she ordered. Fire. The Phantom's advanced targeting systems locked onto key points of the Dominance's crystalline structure. Unlike conventional weapons that the Krell's shields were designed to repel, the Phantom fired concentrated pulses that exploited the resonant frequency of the crystalline technology itself, causing cascading disruptions throughout the ship's systems. On screen, portions of the Dominance went dark as power failed across multiple decks. Direct hit on their main weapons control, Chen reported. Their defensive systems are trying to compensate, but our frequency shifting is preventing them from adapting. They're attempting to lock weapons, Rodriguez warned. Initiate evasive pattern Delta, Maya ordered calmly. Maintain targeting on their weapon systems only. The Phantom danced around the much larger Krell vessel with an agility that seemed impossible for a ship of its size. Every Krell attempt to target it was met with a precisely calculated maneuver that exploited the blind spots in Krell sensor technology. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Dominance, Park announced, surprise evident in his voice. On screen, Maya ordered. Commander Vexon's face appeared, his crystalline features arranged in what Maya recognized as the Krell expression of utter disbelief. What manner of deception is this? He demanded. Our intelligence indicated humans possessed no stealth technology beyond rudimentary sensor jamming. Your intelligence was incomplete, Maya replied simply. As was your understanding of humanity. She gestured, and the tactical display appeared beside her image in the transmission, showing the disabled Krell vessels and the positions of the Spectre and Wraith. 3 ships against your 7, she continued. And yet here we are, having this conversation as equals. Perhaps that should tell you something about the species you dismissed as primitive. Vexon's secondary eye membranes flickered, a sign of intense calculation in Krell physiology. You could have destroyed our vessels, he observed, yet you targeted only weapons and propulsion systems. Why? Because unlike the Krell Empire, we don't believe superiority gives us the right to destroy those who pose no immediate threat, Maya answered. We disabled your ability to harm civilians. Nothing more. A long silence followed as Vexon processed this. The concept was clearly alien to Krell philosophy. What are your terms? He finally asked. Immediate withdrawal from New Eden space, a formal acknowledgement of human territorial sovereignty, and a renegotiation of all previous agreements between our species, this time as equals, not as superior and inferior. Vexon's crystalline features hardened. The Supreme Overseer will never. The Supreme Overseer doesn't know what we know, Maya interrupted. Your ship's databases contain detailed plans for the systematic conquest of 12 human colonies. We have copied this information in its entirety. She let that sink in before continuing. You have a choice, Commander. Return to your overseer with news of a diplomatic recalibration between our species, or explain how your fleet was defeated by technology you believed impossible from a species you considered primitive. The Krell commander stared at her for a long moment. Maya met his gaze steadily, knowing that this moment would define human-Krell relations for generations. You have revealed your technology to prevent an attack, Vexon said finally. A significant tactical sacrifice. We revealed one technology, Maya corrected. One of many. Consider what that might mean. Another long silence followed. I will withdraw my fleet and recommend a reassessment of the Krell Empire's approach to human territories, Vexon stated formally. But this is not over, Captain Harrison. No, Maya agreed. It's just beginning. The transmission ended, and the bridge crew released a collective breath they hadn't realized they were holding. They're powering up their FTL drives, Rodriguez reported. All vessels, including the disabled ones. They're actually leaving. A cheer went up around the bridge, quickly stifled as professionalism reasserted itself. Maintain combat readiness until they've cleared the system, Maya ordered, and prepare a complete report for Earth Command. Hours later, with the Krell fleet long gone and the immediate crisis averted, Maya stood alone in her ready room, staring at the image of New Eden on her private display. The Phantom had re-engaged its stealth systems, once again invisible to the colony it had saved. Earth Command had been predictably furious about the unauthorized revelation of stealth technology, but even they couldn't argue with the results. The Krell Empire had formally requested new diplomatic talks. For the first time, they were approaching humans as potential equals rather than inferiors to be tolerated. A soft chime announced Chen's arrival. "The Spectre and Wraith have resumed their patrol routes," he reported. "Earth Command wants us back at Proxima Base immediately for debriefing." Maya nodded. "Set course, Lieutenant." Chen hesitated. "The crew wanted me to tell you. No matter what happens with Command, what we did today was right." "Thank you, Lieutenant." She turned from the viewport. Earth has existed in the shadow of species like the Krell for too long. Afraid to assert ourselves, afraid to reveal our true potential. Maybe it's time the galaxy learned what humanity is truly capable of. As the Phantom silently accelerated away from New Eden, Maya thought about what this day would mean for human history. They had revealed one secret technology to prevent a massacre, but in doing so, they had changed humanity's place in the galactic order. The Krell and other species had underestimated humans for the last time. They had laughed at humanity's supposed technological backwardness, dismissed human potential, and planned to conquer human worlds with casual arrogance. They wouldn't be laughing anymore. In the vastness of space, invisible to all but themselves, the most advanced ships humanity had ever built continued their silent watch, guardians of a species that would no longer hide its light from the stars.